help us tell the story here on The Grid. Right. Now, for the first time ever, India's Prime Minister is visiting Israel. And somewhat controversially, Narendra Modi's 3-day tour will not include a trip to the occupied Palestinian territories. The two nations have grown closer in recent years. Israel is a major supplier of arms to India, with defense deals averaging more than $1 billion each year. Here's Harry Fawcett, live in Jerusalem for us to talk through this one. It seems interesting, given that very close relationship which they have, particularly with the arms deals, that an Indian Prime Minister hasn't gone before Narendra Modi.
No, that's right, and this is a big moment for both countries in terms of the relationship between them. Certainly Israel has pulled out all the stops in terms of the welcome that it's already given to Narendra Modi. There was a bear hug between the two men, between Benjamin Netanyahu, the Prime Minister of Israel, and Prime Minister Modi as he stepped down the flight of steps from his plane at Tel Aviv airport. Really, the Israelis are giving the same treatment to Mr. Modi as they did to Donald Trump just a few weeks ago when he made his state visit here. Benjamin Netanyahu will be following him on pretty much every engagement over this just over 48-hour period, during which time he'll be in the country. And it does speak to the kind of economic ties that are burgeoning between the two of them. Mr. Modi will be looking at Israeli agri-tech and water technology. And as well as that, there has just been a $2 billion arms deal signed earlier this year between the two countries, part of a more than $1 billion a year trade in arms. Israel is the third biggest exporter of arms to India, and so they're really focusing on building on what are already fairly firm ties.
Any Palestinian reaction to speak of, Harry? Because as we point out, 3 days in the area but not going to the territories.
It is quite out of the ordinary, to say the least, for a world leader to come here and not see both the Israeli and Palestinian leaders especially during a visit of such length. That he's here over the course of 3 days, more than 48 hours in total. The Palestinians have been relatively circumspect in their language about this. They're not making a huge public fuss, but we did go and see the Deputy Foreign Minister of the Palestinian Authority in Ramallah the other day, and he was saying essentially that there is some surprise, that they did expect Mr. Modi to come and see the Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas. Certainly the President of Israel did a couple of years ago when he came here. Mr. Abbas was in India a few weeks ago as well, and there was a meeting between the two men there. This time, it seems that Narendra Modi has decided that's not what he's looking to do. The Deputy Foreign Minister was saying if anybody wants to be part of the mediation process, part of the peace process here, then it's advisable to meet both sets of leaders. Narendra Modi seems to be thinking that this visit is all about Israel.
Thanks. Harry Fawcett, live in Jerusalem for us on Narendra Modi's visit. Getting a few comments through already. Anmar on Facebook, Leah has just actually said Modi's adding fuel to his anti-Muslim image by visiting Israel. Right. Our Indian audience usually speaks up pretty strongly on politics.
They have. The hashtag we're following is Modi in Israel, but the conversation we're focusing on is inside India. The most shared tweets are all in support of Modi's visit to Israel. Habijith here saying that the trip ends India's terrible hypocrisy towards a friend who stood by us silently through the years. A lot of folks on Facebook as well, they've been sharing this list. It's been highlighting different ways that Israel and India are similar. It mentions that both countries have, quote, sworn enemies whose names start with P. That'd be Palestine for Israel and Pakistan for India. There's been a large conversation as well about Modi's supporters, saying that it's good that he is not visiting Palestine, that it shows that he's doing what's best for the country. Now, instead of sticking to hollow secularist ideas, the Prime Minister's critics say this decision sends the wrong message and strengthens Israel's occupation of Palestine.
Whenever Indian authorities have visited Israel, they've also visited Palestine. Why? To maintain those ties with Israel, and as well as to reaffirm India's support to the Palestinian cause, which India has been doing since independence. This 3-day visit of Prime
Modi's critics have even brought up Mahatma Gandhi, often considered the father of India. ALJAZEERA posted this, saying that Gandhi supported the Palestinian cause, while Gotz, the man who assassinated him, supported Zionists. This is one of the most popular tweets about Modi's visit so far. We're not sure if Gandhi's killer actually supported Zionism, but we do know that Gandhi stood by Palestine. He wrote a letter in 1938 saying, quote, "Palestine belongs to Arabs in the same sense that England belongs to the English, and the France to French. It is wrong and inhuman to impose the Jews on the Arabs. The nobler course would be to insist on a just treatment of the Jews wherever they are born and bred." Now, there are, of course, people saying that India shouldn't choose sides at all. Arnab here, he's saying that India should equally be friendly to both Israel and Palestine. But given the sensitivities here, we ask, is that even possible? We'd love to hear what you think on the topic. You can connect with us, as always, with the hashtag AJNewsGrid.
Certainly can. Thank you for that, Leah. More with Leah later on. So I've gone into the opinions section at ALJAZEERA.com and dug this one up. It was written back in January, actually, when Israel and India marked 25 years of diplomatic relations. Vijay Prasad wrote this one and says quite plainly, in fact, let me just scroll down and find it. It is clear that the volume of Indian arms purchases from Israel underwrites the country's stand against the occupation of Palestine. A very strong opinion there. You can read it in the opinion section, of course, at ALJAZEERA.com. Have a look for Israel, India.